Don't do it, John.
Bastard threatened to kill you. I'm not gonna give him the chance to do it.
Pull that trigger, and the whole world will know that your sister was responsible for little Michael Parenthos' shooting.
I've already asked Jen to set aside 8 pages of the fall issue for exclusive coverage of the ceremony and all the events leading up to it. I want everything featured, from the place settings to the gown I'm wearing.
Oh, speaking of, I left a message for Maha. She's in Saint-Tropez. She won't be able to do fabric selection until next week.
All right, fine. Have her send over some sketches. In the meantime, Federico is already working on designs for the reception gown.
I'd be happy to pick up the sketches from Federico when he's finished with them.
Okay, Maxie, we can work out the logistics later. In the meantime, your function is of liaison. It is imperative that you get Maha's people speaking with Federico's. Now, I want the gowns to complement each other, but I also want the individual style of the designer represented.
Of course. I'll call him right now.
Okay.
Federico, hey, it's Maxie. I was just calling to see how those sketches were coming along. No pressure, just my own curiosity.
So, Sonny's a pretty private guy, at least as long as I've known him. How does he feel about his relationship being plastered all over the pages of a magazine?
Sonny is not used to, nor will he ever be comfortable with the level of scrutiny associated with my position. There is a real chance that he may ask me to pull the article altogether, in which case I'm going to need some backups in place.
Well, we could move up the piece on warning signs for breast cancer to coincide with National Awareness Month.
That's a good start, Lulu,
Yeah.
but it won't fill 8 pages. Why don't you compile a list of some other ideas that will tie in with the cancer piece? I want to be prepared at a moment's notice to drop it in case Sonny gets cold feet.
It's one hell of a bluff.
I assure you, I always have a contingency plan, and this is no exception. I'll let your sister acquaint you with the details.
Ian was working with Jerry. As a matter of fact, Ian wanted Jerry to shoot Sonny in the warehouse.
I'm afraid I have to agree. I would never have pulled the trigger if I knew there was a child in line of fire.
So if you didn't trust Ian to take care of the job, why didn't you take Sonny out yourself?
I didn't want the hit to be traced back to me. So, Ian did the job himself, and the rest is, as we know, painful history. Fortunately for all of us, Ian is dead. And as far as the law and Jason Morgan are concerned, the good doctor was acting out alone. But if you kill me, all that will change.
What's he got on you?
There's an affidavit on file that states I was the one who hired Ian.
And if the information comes to light, I've no doubt that Jason Morgan will kill you both. Which brings us to our current dilemma. I mean, if it was me, I would only have one solution: drop the gun. Keeping me alive keeps you alive.
When you say Sonny could get cold feet, do you mean about having his private life made public or getting married in general?
If Sonny wasn't committed to spending his life with me, he hardly would have proposed a second time.
A second time?
Yes, Maxie, the first time I was the one with cold feet.
What changed? I mean, not that it's our business, but it's just, you know, kind of weird that you would run screaming from Sonny one minute and now agree to marry him the next.
Well, Lulu, it hardly happened that fast, nor in such dramatic fashion.
Well, if you don't want to talk about it.
No, no, actually. I would rather have you hear the truth from me than concoct some story on your own. The truth is, at the time, my only reservation was Sonny's line of work. Had he not been a known racketeer, I would have married him on the spot.
Oh, so now that Sonny's not in the business, you don't have an excuse?
No, I don't. But Sonny does. He's still grieving Michael, and he may not be capable of facing all the trappings of a big wedding. And if that turns out to be the case, then I'll deal with it. And in the meantime, we have a lot of planning to do. So, go, get busy.
Do you have a minute?
Sure, Rick. Hold all my calls.
What's more important? Killing me or keeping Claudia safe? I thought so. Now put the gun down.
Do it, John. Look, I want him dead just as much as you do. Unfortunately, that's not an option right now. If we leave Jerry alone, he'll do the same.
You seem to be forgetting that your father threatened an innocent little child. If any harm comes to her or her mother, I will go to Jason Morgan and tell him all I know about that night little Michael was shot.
What do you want?
Get your father under control, or I will.
John, what are you doing?
Calling his bluff.
John, don't. Put the gun down.
I don't want our lives in Jerry's hands.
Then you should probably aim that thing somewhere else. It would be a tragedy if you shot your dear sister by accident.
Johnny, think about it. The only leverage that Jerry has is that I was involved in Michael's shooting. Now, if you were in his position, would you leave your only life insurance to chance? No. You would have a sworn affidavit. Ready and waiting. Johnny, if you shoot him, you are killing both of us.
Fine. You get to keep breathing. For now.
Hey, Clarice, it's Maxie. Do you still have the number for that florist you used for the Hamptons party? Kate really liked his work, and I think she wants to use him for the reception.
Kate Edwards' office.
Oh,
No, ad sales is extension 4718. I will transfer you.
what? No calls from Johnny? It's been 24 hours since he's been out of jail, and he hasn't checked in yet?
Oh, well, I noticed he hasn't called you either, which would mean he's not interested in you.
Are you sure about that? Oh, Clarice, thank you so much. You're a lifesaver.
Sure to call?
Oh, no, go ahead. Oh.
Hey, you have time to go over these figures now?
Why the hell didn't you tell me that Jerry Jacks is working with Devlin?
I didn't want you to worry about it, John.
Oh, yeah, how many times do I need to tell you? I don't need you protecting me.
You know what? You wouldn't be in this mess if it wasn't for me. I'm the one who got this whole nightmare rolling with Ian. I feel like it's up to me to deal with the fallout, Johnny.
You know, it is all becoming so crystal clear to me now. Jerry Jacks never gave a damn about renting property at the cannery. He was just sniffing around to squeeze you.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I underestimated the guy, okay? Jerry Jacks is lethal, Johnny. I should know, because he's the one who stabbed me.
Jerry Jacks stabbed you and left you for dead.
I was trying to get Jerry to help me frame Daddy as Ian's accomplice.
Told you to drop that.
I know. Well, I didn't listen, John. Okay, because I honestly believed that implicating Daddy was a solution to our problems. So I kept pushing Jerry.
Yeah, and he stabbed you. So why the hell didn't you let me kill him when I had the chance?
Because, John, look, Jerry's out to cover his ass. We're trying to do the same. So in a way, I figured that kind of made us all allies.
I have enough to deal with launching this magazine and planning my wedding. I do not have the time nor the patience to play gatekeeper. That would be your jobs. No one should be barging into my office under any circumstances. Is that clear?
But it was Jax. I didn't think you would care.
Well, normally I wouldn't, Lulu, but if I was in with Sonny, that would be another story. It would make my life so much easier if they could just avoid each other altogether. Which is where you come in. As my assistants, it is up to you to finesse the situation so that Sonny and Jax do not cross paths. If I am in with one, you find some sort of reason to keep them away from each other. Is that understood?
But what if it's, like, important?
Maxie, you pick up the phone and you call me. No one should be barging into my office under any circumstances.
Nice work. Now Kate thinks we're both incompetent.
Well, you definitely are. I wasn't even here when Sonny came by.
There's a surprise. You're never here because you can never be bothered to do your job. How hard is it to announce a yes?
You tell me.
You can't. Just go in there.
Jerry Jacks cannot hurt anybody again. Okay, once I get my hands on that affidavit, there's no reason to keep him alive.
He's too smart to leave his only evidence against us just laying around, John.
Claudia, I have spent my entire life being controlled by other people. Trevor, our father. I'm not about that Jerry Jacks to that list.
I don't want you taking any unnecessary risks, Johnny. We will find a way to get out from under Jerry. Or don't you trust my judgment anymore?
Well, you've been keeping a lot of secrets.
I didn't want you involved in any of this.
It's a little too late for that. So I need you to be honest with me. Does anyone else know that you hired Devlin to kill Sonny?